Welcome to my first Champions League Operation Arsenal of the season. We've just travelled to Spain and beaten Athletic Bilbao, or Athletic Club, whatever you want to call them, 2-0. A very solid professional performance, especially the second half. And look, the first half might not have been the best football. I think both teams were a little bit cagey. I think cagey is the right word. No one wanting to mess up, make a mistake in the first 45 minutes of the new Champions League season. It's a big season for Arsenal. We need to do something. We need to do something, especially in this Champions League. Can we go one step further, get to the final, and then, of course, another step further and win it? Well, a lot to be seen. It's still early in the season, but today, I think that the main point I'm taking away from this result and this performance and the way it panned out is that we finally have a squad. We don't just have a top quality first 11 and a couple of players on the bench. We now have a full squad of quality because it wasn't working. We made changes and the team, I wouldn't necessarily say in general got stronger, but we didn't see that typical drop off. Last season, if we had this exact game, we would have been subbing on Raheem Sterling. You know, this is the kind of levels, and now we're bringing on Martinelli or Trossard, and both of them combining and scoring and assisting. It's just a sign of why we had such a big summer and what the plan was. So, before we talk about the team, let's have a look at the stats. As you can see here, as usual, whenever you watch Arsenal, the momentum is 9 times out of 10 going to look just like this, where there's a lot of Arsenal and not so much of the opposition. We do control the game ever so well under Arteta. He is a man with a plan, and we do seem to really enjoy that control, home or away. Now, sometimes in an away game, especially when you go into a game like today, which, let's face it, could very easily be one of those games where you kind of slip up. It's a really difficult place to go. It's the first Champions League game of the season. A lot of players haven't played in the Champions League, are now playing in the Champions League. For example, Eze and Madueke, this is it. This is their first time. And then we've got Norgard coming on and having a Champions League debut. Hincapié, I think he's played in the Champions League before, but making his Arsenal debut tonight. So it could have been one of those games where we slip up. Who knows? And obviously it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, but we've gone there and we've done the job, and we've utilized this squad that we've now got. I mean, it's full to the brim with fantastic options, and we dominated the game away from home. Sometimes I think you have to give up a little bit of that control if you really struggle away from home in a game like this. Sometimes you just have to hope you get lucky on the break or just rely on a bit of luck, effectively. But no, we really controlled the game. Lots of possession, much better expected goals than them despite the same amount of shots. Our chances were clearer, better. And I mean, honestly, I wasn't a fan of the substitutions that were made, but it just goes to show you we know nothing, okay? Us sitting at home or even at the stadium watching the game, realistically, we're all going to have agreements and disagreements on who should come on, which players should come off. But the people that really know what they're doing, funnily enough, are the professionals, the people being paid for their opinion and to make these changes. For example, when Gyökeres came off and Trossard came on, I assumed maybe Marino would be pushed up front. I thought Marino was going to come off. I thought he was having a stinker, to be honest. And then I thought Trossard would go wide, and then maybe Eze would play slightly more central. But no, Trossard went up front, and we stuck with Marino in midfield. And I'm just thinking, it doesn't really make sense. And then Martinelli comes on for Eze, and I'm just thinking, well, put Trossard on the left, and then maybe Martinelli goes up front, because I think we all know now that maybe Martinelli isn't going to be our left-wing option, and maybe we're going to try him up front for a bit. But no, he also kind of went on the left side, although 36 seconds in, I was instantly proved wrong. He found himself basically in a striker role. He's through on goal and scores. 36 seconds after being on the pitch, and it wasn't an easy goal, by the way. And what I will say is, I think people might think this is harsh, but it was a rubbish finish. It actually was. When you look at the replay, he's hit it straight down the middle. He's just lucky it's gone under the keeper. I want to say 7 times out of 10, that shot gets saved. and he is getting blasted online, and we go on to draw this game 0-0 maybe. It's not a good enough shot, but it's okay because it's gone in, and ultimately he's won us the game. He's gone and got the assist for the Trossard goal as well. Genuinely, Martinelli came on and was superb. So you've got to say, as an Arsenal fan that's maybe similar to me, frustrated with Martinelli and just thinking maybe it's time that we kind of move on from Martinelli. It's these moments where you think, do you know what? Maybe we are harsh on some players and maybe they do just go through some tough moments and we should cut them some slack a little bit. He's been brilliant today and he is a great option, especially off the bench. I mean, what a player to bring on when other players are tired, especially when opposition defenders are tired. He is absolutely rapid. He's the quickest player we've got. I think he's an absolute weapon to have to come on, in the second half when we bring off an Eze, Madueke, or even put him up front for Gyökeres, who knows. When it comes to my career mode, which, by the way, I've had hundreds of tweets and messages today. I don't have the game yet. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm wondering if I will actually convert Martinelli to a striker. Maybe it could be what he goes with or does in the future. Let's go through the lineup. I thought Raya was pretty what's the word when you're not needed? Can't think of the right word, the right term right now. I mean, the moments where we did need him, he did well, but it just wasn't a game where he was required too much, was it? Timber, whilst he gave away the ball a couple of times, he's just such a good right back. And I do love it when he gets forward and he takes on players and he's very strong. I thought he was really, really good today. Mosquera, solid again. You know a defender's great when you don't really talk about them because they just do their job. Gabriel, brilliant. Calafiori, oh, mwah, what a season he's having. Arguably our best player this season so far. I think he's up there. Always sad when he comes off because it just makes me think, oh, they're resting him, aren't they? They're making sure he doesn't get injured again. If he gets another injury this season, it's going to be such a bummer. It really is. And I thought midfield-wise, it probably was our weakest department today. I thought Marino really didn't have a spectacular game, but I guess, I mean, he got 90 minutes under his belt again. He's the in-form midfielder, but I just don't think we get out of him what Spain do. It's just not quite the same role. I don't know. There must be a way we can get Marino into midfield and contributing like he did when he was at striker for us. Zubimendi, I know he's not got a great rating there and he picked up a yellow card, but some of his pings, him and Rice are so good at just getting the ball, looking up and just smashing a 60-yard diag. It's beautiful. He's just, it's my favourite position in football. I love defensive midfield. And he plays it the way I want DMs to play. He's just so good. I love this guy. And I'm really hoping he can stay fit because we need him. Already, I think we are actually relying on Zubimendi to keep things ticking. Without Partey, I'm happy that Partey's gone, don't get me wrong. But what he did bring us was, well, the kind of engine, you know, he kept things ticking, kept things moving along, and Jorginho did a similar job. We don't know if Norgard's going to provide that. He looked okay when he came on, but Zubimendi absolutely is doing that already. And Declan Rice, he's just a workhorse. Another 7.7, and he wasn't even that great. He was just good today. Madueke, continuing his good form, really needs a goal, though. I would love him to score. And, a couple more assists would be great as well because he really deserves it. The runs he's making, he's taking on players. He's not making them. He's running around them. He's defending well. He's honestly... This is the craziest thing because normally if you miss your best player, Saka, you miss him. You really start thinking, oh God, what if we had Saka today? We'd be doing so much better. Madueke, and I'm sure Arsenal fans would agree, has made it almost like we don't miss Saka. And that is the greatest compliment you could pay Madueke, to come in and fill those boots. Saka has been one of the best players in that position in the world, let alone at Arsenal. And Madueke is doing so well. Almost to the point where when Saka's fit, I wouldn't say he instantly gets back in. He is going to have to build up minutes, build up fitness, and actually prove that he's offering more than Madueke. Eze, yeah, look, left wing is going to be talked about a lot when it comes to Eze. Is he a left winger? Is he more of a central player that can drift out wide if needed and then cut inside? And you can debate all you want. Eze will play on that left side for us. I don't think there's a position for him more central at this present time unless we change this system. He will be our go-to left winger. I don't think he was bad at all today, but I think what you saw there was when the game plan for Eze hasn't worked. It's going to have to be switched up a little bit. He's not as direct as Martinelli, for example. At times, I guess he can be, but Eze's not as quick, and he's more of flair, cutting inside, shooting, all of this good stuff. But we saw when Martinelli came on, they just couldn't handle that directness, the run in behind. So if Eze can add that into his game a little bit more, which will come with time, he'll be coached into a really good left wing. There's no doubt about it. And Gyökeres, I think, unfortunately, he picked up that nasty head injury in the first half, which, I mean, I'm not saying it made him struggle today, but it definitely can't have helped. That must have been really sore and can make you a bit timid jumping up for headers and stuff. He actually missed a header in the second half. He probably should have scored today. And it's the one gripe I've got today of Gyökeres. It's kind of why we bought him. Chances like that. I mean, luckily we've gone on and won the game, but if this was a 0-0, I'm looking at that Gyökeres header. I'm looking at the 1v1 he had, whilst it wasn't the easiest. And I would be saying, this is kind of why we've spent all the money on you. We need you to bury those chances. But I think with time, that will come. We're still learning how to play with Gyökeres. A quick word on Athletic Bilbao. I thought they were really good today to potentially get a draw, but they didn't do anything to win this game per se. Obviously missing one or two players. Other brother of Williams was in the crowd today, so he wasn't playing. They are a good side. I love what they do. I love the fact that they only have Basque Spanish players or, just Basque region players. For example, Williams is from the Basque region, but he's from Ghana. It's a little bit of a strange one, that. But if you didn't know, they only use players from the Basque region, which is very limiting, although they still have some great options, clearly. They're still a very good team. But you can't help but imagine, what if they weren't ran like that and they could expand their search for other players? It's kind of like playing career mode, but you're playing on a challenge mode where you have one scout and you can only put him in Spain, and that's it. A certain region in Spain, not the whole of Spain. I hope they go on and do well, because they're a nice team. They weren't overly physical, aggressive. I don't think they were diving and just being annoying. Some teams are just like that. And at times they played some really nice football, but they came up against a team that when they go 1-0 up, you're not scoring. It's just game over at that point. So I think Arsenal really did deserve the win in the end. In terms of match ratings, Martinelli's actually been given man of the match. He only played for 24, 25 minutes. Trossard was excellent as well. I think that's 3 goals/assists in just substitute appearances. It's amazing. Good to see Hincapié and Norgard as well. Hopefully they'll get more minutes. But realistically, guys, simple, professional 2-0 win. So we start the Champions League season with a win. We've got other games going on. PSV lost. Oh, dear. Benfica are playing, Juventus, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Marseille, Tottenham are playing. Hopefully Villarreal can turn them over. But obviously it's very early stages. We'll see how we get on. And we've got a Daumann debut, Champions League debut at 15 in the next game. Hopefully he'll still be 15 when we have our first home Champions League game. Maybe we'll see Daumann make history then. Thank you for watching, guys. And hopefully tomorrow, the Arsenal career mode will begin.